You want to learn a particular language but you don't know exactly how to go about it and you prefer to have a plan? This video is for you. My name is Luca, I'm 24 years old, I'm French and I started learning Russian 3 years ago and Portuguese 3 months ago. In this video I will give you my secrets about learning a language through the way I learned the Russian and what I understood about learning languages. My friend, before starting, why do you want to learn a language specifically? This question is very important because you will know why you learn it, and the more you have reasons and the stronger your consistency will be about learning this language on the longer term. About reasons, maybe you want to learn this language because you love the culture of the country. You want to work or develop your business in this country. You want to leave your own country. Maybe you want to find a wife or a husband from this country. In my case, I started learning Russian in October 2022, and at that time I was a web developer. I thought that knowing a language could be very cool because it would make my profile more interesting at work compared to others. So I started learning Russian because I really like the traditional mentality and I don't really like some aspects of the modern mentality. Especially the fact that women have to work, let's go to have a big career, we don't care about family, independent women, no children, and so on. I hate that. With that in mind, I'm a person who wants to have children with a dual nationality. Over the past 3 years, I have spoken with hundreds of Russian girls and they are lovely. I really enjoy talking with them and maybe I'll have a Russian girlfriend in the future. It's a possibility. But I'm not there yet. For now, I want to develop my projects and it's way more important. Moreover, I prefer to become an entrepreneur and I've seen how difficult it is for them to make a decent living in France because it's the most heavily taxed country in the world. 60% tax. With tax audits, you can end up paying up to 75 or 80%. You earn €1,000,000 and you give 800k tax. That's so crazy. And Russia is an interesting country for me as a person who wants to become an entrepreneur because I prefer to pay taxes between 15 and 30%. A standard rate, and I'm not a fan of tax havens where you literally pay zero. And I can add that France is not safe because you have a minority of immigrants who commit terrible acts and moreover justice protect them. In Russia, I have heard that the big cities are safe. I have been talking to a Russian girl from Moscow for 2 years and she often tells me that she goes out at 11 p.m. I advise you not to go out in Paris after 10 p.m. especially if you are a girl alone in the red light districts. So you can see that I have many reasons and I have even considered leaving France and live in Russia. Now that you know why you want to learn this language, it's time to work. But how? To learn a language, you need to work on several aspects such as reading, writing, listening, and speaking. There is no universal method for learning a language, such as you must do this thing, you must do that, and you will speak the language fluently. Every person is different. If we take my example, I started watching YouTube videos on learning Russian. I began writing my first words in a notebook, tried to pronounce them, but I quickly reached my limits in my learning. Then I saw a video by a French YouTuber who shared the 2 apps for learning languages. The first one was Tandem. On this app, you can meet people who can speak the language you want to learn, and vice versa. I highly recommend this app because talking with people textually and or with calls is one of the best ways to learn a language. I've been using it for 3 years and have managed to improve my Russian. Moreover, you can learn more about the country's culture. By texting and coding, you work on all 4 aspects of the language learning, which is awesome. The second app was Meetup. It's not a language app, but it allows you to see which events are happening near you. You'll find events on various topics like IT, business, and language learning, especially English. If you are a person who lives in a big city, this app can be useful for you as you'll automatically find an event dedicated to language learning. This was the case for me because in Marseille I found a polyglot event in a bar every Wednesday from 7 to 11 p.m. There, I met people of many different nationalities. You can practice with them, and if you've seen my Ome TV videos, I often said that I met an Algerian guy who lived in Russia for 8 years. That's where I met this person. With these 2 apps, you can practice languages and you can use some chat roulette like Omi TV or Azar to practice languages. When it comes to learning a language theoretically, I am someone who likes to use books because they provide guidelines and save me from having to think about what I should learn first. Grammar, conjugation, cases, and so on. But I know it's possible to learn a language on your own using the internet, and I know some people who have done so. A well-known method for learning a language is to watch movies with subtitles. I've never tried it because I rarely watch movies. I don't know what to think about it, but if you want to learn the language, it can be a good way to enrich your vocabulary. My alternative has been to use social medias such as Instagram or TikTok and search for posts or reels in the language you want to learn. Once you find them, you save them and can watch them again. Since October 2022, I saved almost 1400 reels or posts in Russian on Instagram. Over time, you may find that you can understand the video perfectly today, whereas a year ago, you couldn't understand it at all. And finally, in my opinion, the best way to learn a language is to travel to the country, because you will be automatically out of your comfort zone, and there you must be able to manage on your own using your language skills. If you want to learn English and you traveled to the USA, you must speak English, think in English, eat in English, sleep in English, drink in English, and so on. People who speak a language fluently are the ones who have made the most mistakes. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, especially if you're trying to talk to people. That's a golden rule. It's inevitable to make mistakes, and when you will correct them, you may continue to make others, which you will correct in turn, and so on. You have no idea how many mistakes I made while learning Russian. And today I can speak Russian even though I'm not perfect, and I continue to make mistakes nowadays. As I said before, if you have enough reasons to learn a language, you will find the discipline to practice it in the longer term. I didn't go a single day without practicing Russian, and every day I enjoyed learning the language with my book, by saving and watching new Instagram reels, and by speaking with Russian speakers on Tandem. And I started all of this at the same time. I highly recommend that you establish a routine for learning a language, as I did, rather than learning for 2 hours on one random day, 1 hour on another day, and so on. That's the end of the video. I hope it helps you learn a language and that my way of learning Russian has inspired you. I want to precise that everyone is different. My ways of learning a language may suit one person but not another. You will even have your own preferred way of learning a language. Personally, I really enjoy talking to people because they come from a different culture. So they are interesting people and are always pleasantly surprised when they hear you speaking their language. Remember that all roads lead to Rome, and not just when it comes to learning languages. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I wish you good luck in your language learning.